Hello YouTubes, I'm Free, welcome you back to Kingdom Hearts walkthrough. Technically, we are now in post-game. Last episode was the finale of the main game. We beat Ansem. This episode is technically the synthesizing guide. I know it's not starting like the way you'd expect most guides, but I'm treating this like an episode. So, from the way how this works, is that you are going to see once I actually get started, a bunch of clips of me showing you the material drops, the enemies that drop the materials, and the best place I recommend to hunt them down. 1 second. Now, the amount of brain work. The amount of materials that we're going to need is I will explain during the actual guide part. But it says here 7 out of 12, this isn't the maximum items. But you'll see that towards the end of the episode. All I'm gonna do, the way this episode is gonna work is that you will see clips of me getting all the stuff. And as I will be doing that, post-commentary will be working, so you'll be able to get all the information. I'm sorry, I'm not the best at explaining things. I bet I sound so confusing right now. Basically, I will be showing each material going bit by bit. We're going to be starting off with the blaze stuff. So, like there, blaze shards. I'll be starting off with that and then going into all the other way through. I'll be showing, like, say with the blaze shards, it'll be the red nocturnes and the best place to find them, and the maximum amounts you're going to need to synthesize at least one of every single item that can be synthesized. I'll be doing that for every single one: blaze shards, frost shards, thunder shards, power shards, lucid shards, spirit shards. There are other types of materials too. Where are they? There's the gems, there's the stones, the mithrils, orichalcums. Now, they are different. That is one thing I want to quickly show. Once you've beaten the game, I think this becomes unlocked, or this is something that has been unlocked sooner, I just haven't really been back here. If you go back to the shop, either once you've beaten the game or before you beat it, go into the shop, and you can buy orichalcums. They become available here. I'll buy one right now. I'll get a bit more money as we go along for this episode. So yeah, you'll be seeing clips, all that. I'll explain more as the synthesized guide goes on, but I guess that's it for now. You guys will now start seeing the clips. I'll see you at the end once I've grinded all the materials and you guys have seen all of it. And we'll be back to do all the synthesizing. Roll the guide! Help me. Alright, to start off the synthesized guide, we're beginning with the blaze shards. They can be found, the drops are from red nocturnes, and the red nocturnes can be found at around Hollow Bastion castle gates. It's where I recommend, because if you just travel out 2 rooms after defeating the 4, they'll respawn. Drop rates for the blaze shards from the red nocturne is 6%. And the maximum number you're going to need to synthesize one of everything is 12. Alright, to the next one. Next up is the blaze gem. Blaze gems are dropped by the bandits and the fat bandits in Agrabah, basically anywhere around. The bandits have a 4% drop rate, while the fat bandits have an 8% drop rate. And the maximum you're going to need is 10 blaze gems to synthesize one of everything. Alright, next up is the blazing stones, dropped by one of the first special heartless that was added for the final mixed version, from the Chimera. The Chimera can be found in Halloween Town and the furthest area where you fought Oogie Boogie for the final time. Its spawn conditions can be a little weird at times, but the one tell is that one white knight appears, but only it. Defeat it, more will spawn, and then just keep defeating them, then the Chimera itself will show up. Sorry about the squeaking chair. Now, the Chimera has a 30% chance of dropping the Blazing Stone, but it can be increased by deflecting the heads that come out of the glass jar thing back at it. So if you're good at it, then it works. Recommended to use Bambi, the summon, because it gets rid of your teammates, so the heads then only focus on you, so it makes it easier. And the total number you're going to need of Blazing Stones is 7. This one might take you a little bit, but trust me when I say this isn't going to be the hardest material you're going to have to get. Next up is the Bright Shards. Bright Shards are dropped by the Green Requiems, and where you'll find them in the deep jungle around the cliffs area. In a very specific spot, you'll get like about a total of 6 to maybe 8 spawns, so it's not that bad. The drop rates is about 10%, and you're going to need a total of 13 Bright Shards. Next up is Bright Gems. Bright Gems are found via the Search Ghosts. You can find these a bit easier in Travis Town, in my opinion, in the areas that you're seeing on screen now in the clip, where you go to the green room, defeat the 3, go through the hallway, back into the other room, and then back into the green room, because you gotta go through 2 screens unless you have the ability Encounter Up, which is something you get through synthesizing. Now, the Search Goats have a 4% chance of dropping. Honestly, this has been one of the more annoying ones to get. Not the most annoying, but annoying nonetheless. And the maximum you're going to need is 8 Bright Gems. Next up is the Bright Crystals. Bright Crystals are dropped from the Defenders. Best place to find them is, again, Travis Town, the same as the Bright Gems. They find them in the hallway, as you can see in the clip. The Defenders only have a 2% chance of dropping them, so these ones can be kind of annoying. But luckily, the Bright Crystals, you only need 4 of them, so it shouldn't take you too long to get them. Next up is the Dark Matter. Dark Matter actually is going to be a little awkward. Dark Matters cannot be dropped from Heartless. I'm afraid these can only be found and in turn synthesized. Dark Matters can be found in these locations. You'll see images. I'm afraid I couldn't get clips for these ones because I couldn't find them in my videos anywhere, even though I know I got them because I got them all. Now, the first one is in Travis Town, where you actually synthesize the very first one. Then Wonderland on the balcony of the Tea Party Garden area. That one's not too hard to find. The third one could be found in Olympus Coliseum, where you clear the Pegasus Cup. Easy enough, you should have already done that by now. Deep Jungle, you get all the fruits in the third part of the Jungle Slider minigame. And then the fourth one, the next one, Agrabah, on the high ledge in the main street. Then Monstro, activate the White Trinity in Chamber 6. Then Halloween Town, behind the skeleton in the cemetery. This one's a little hard, I won't deny it, so I'll try to explain this one. When you enter the hill area where you can activate the bridge to send you to the next place, there's a door you can go through that has like a bunch of tombstones. Not the one with the pumpkin, the other one next to the platform. You can use the fire spell to go up and down. Go through that door and you will find in a chest behind a skeleton. Next up is Neverland. You can find it by activating the Yellow Trinity in the hold area. Then Hollow Bastion in the waterway, freeze one of the bubbles to use it to get to the chest. I do believe it is the second bubble. And again in Hollow Bastion, in the Grand Hall, as you go into the Grand Hall, you go right to the next set of stairs and it should be on a little ledge right up above. Then in the 100 Acre Wood, I don't know why these notes say 1,000 Acre Wood, that's wrong, sorry. It's in a weird area. When you enter the seesaw area, if you look right and up, it should be right there, but you'll have to glide into it. And then at the end of the world, this one you will see a clip because this one's actually a little difficult to get to. So it's on one of the top platforms in the Great Crevasse area. But that's all that you can find, but you actually need to synthesize more of these ones. You're going to need a total of 14 dark matters. Dark matters, you will get all the materials throughout this whole synthesized guide. Sorry that the dark matter one's a little longer than the others, but this one's one of the more confusing ones as well as one of the others. Don't worry, as long as you follow the guide, you will get all you need. Okay, to the next one. Next up is the Dazzling Stone. These are dropped from the jet balloon. I'm gonna have to give you a warning about this one. You are gonna want to save before each attempt, because the jet balloon is one of the special heartless that every time it hits you, it knocks out a lot of your money. Now you're probably thinking, nah, that doesn't mean much. It does actually, because it has a 100% chance of dropping the Dazzling Stone upon defeat, but only if you have 100 money or more. You need your money, so I recommend you save each time. And as you can see on the thing, it's in the Neverland deck area, the outside of the ship, and the total you're going to need is 6. Next up is Energy Stones. Energy Stones is dropped by the Stealth Soldier. This enemy can be found in Hollow Bastion's Grand Hall, right the area where you fight Ansem Riku. This one is an awkward one. I recommend you use the Aero Shields, or any of its upgraded forms, and in turn the Stop spell to attack it. It's the only way to get to stop, because otherwise it's invisible and it jumps all over the place, attacking you pretty hard. Its drop rate is only 35%, so it's kind of annoying, but you only need a total of 6 energy stones. Next up is the Frost Shards. These are dropped by the blue Raspuses. Can never say this enemy's name, so excuse me, but you can see it on screen. You can find these mostly in Wonderland within the Lotus Forest area. Easy enough. Their drop rate is about 12%, and you're going to need a total of 10 of them. Next up is the Frost Gems. These are dropped by the Sea Neons and the Sheltering Zones. I only have a picture of one of them, I believe. But they are basically the big jellyfish and the small jellyfish enemies that you can find in Atlantica. The Sea Neons, which are the small ones, only has a 4% chance of dropping, while the Sheltering Zones, the big ones, have an 8% chance of dropping the Frost Gem. You're going to need a total of 10 Frost Gems. Next up is the Frost Stones. These ones are pretty simple to get. This one you're going to want to head to Monstro, because it's dropped by the Grand Ghost, 100% chance upon defeat. But the Grand Ghost is a special Heartless. As I already said, it can't be defeated via being attacked. It can actually only be defeated by healing it with items. I actually recommend you use elixirs and mega elixirs. I know that seems weird, but mega elixirs actually have you a chance of dropping the item twice at times. So either use elixirs, which can be synthesized or ground by certain Heartless, or feel free to use the mega elixirs, which can get you them much faster. The maximum amount of Frost Stones you're going to need is 7, so it shouldn't take you too much. Next up is the Fury Stone, dropped by the Gigas Shadow. This enemy can be found in Wonderland in the Bazaar Room. You'll know that it's spawning because there'll be a ring of normal shadows spawn around the table. Defeat all the shadows to get the Gigas ones to spawn, but these only have a 10 to a 100% chance of dropping, depending on how many of the Gigas Shadows you defeat. These are special Heartless in the way that if they hit you, they will despawn. So the best way to deal with these ones, I recommend you set up the Aeroga Shield and use the Strike Raid ability. It makes you immune, so maybe you don't need the shield, but either way. It makes you completely invulnerable to all damage, and you can just keep hitting them constantly, dodge roll out of the way, and trigger it once again until they're all beaten. You need a total of 7 Fury Stones. Next up is the Gale. These are dropped from the Invisible and Angel Star Heartless. These have a 6% drop rate from both Heartless, and you're going to need a total of 7 Gales to synthesize everything. Normally it would have been 4 Gales, but you're going to need more. If you're following the guide, the way how I'm doing this guide, you'll need 3 more to synthesize the last 3 Dark Matters later on. So yeah, total of 7 Gales. Get more if you please. It's up to you. Next up is Lightning Stones. These ones are quite annoying to get. These are dropped by the Black Ballads. Again, I don't know if I'm saying the name right. These have a 10 to a 100% drop depending on how many times you manage to hit it. You can see on the clip below, it's one of those like shuffling then hit the right one targets. I actually recommend you do a pause buffering technique where you have it on screen and you rapidly press pause so you can see it every few frames so you can follow it. I've never been good at this type of thing, so I did the pause buffering for this. Luckily, all you need is 5 lightning stones. So hopefully this won't take too long, but this is an annoying one. Next up, Lucid Shards. These are dropped by Shadows, Gigast Shadows. Shadows have it as a 6% drop, while the Giga Shadows have a 10% to 100% drop. I recommend you fight these in Wonderland in the Bazaar room, the same as going for the Fury Stone. Since a lots of shadows spawn, it is the best place. Plus the Giga Shadows also drop them as well, so it's the best place to grind for. You're gonna need 46 Lucid Shards. You're gonna need a lot more Lucid Shards than most others because you need to synthesize for extra Dark Matters later on. So yeah, 46 Lucid Shards. This one might take you a little bit of time. Next up is the Lucid Gems. Lucid Gems are dropped by the White Knights and Gargoyles. Both have a 6% drop rate. You'll find these in Halloween Town pretty much anywhere all over the world. And you're going to need a total of 13 Lucid Gems. And now for the one I despised the most doing this guide. The Lucid Crystals, dropped by the Dark Balls. You're probably thinking, that don't sound that bad. It's literally only a 1% chance to drop. It took me an hour to get 1 drop. If you have Lucky Strike, you might have better luck than me. In this playthrough, I did not, because I picked the sword, and the sword only gives you Lucky Strike at level 95. I was not even level 90 on the completion of this video. So yeah, and Lucid Crystals, you need 9 of them. So if you're, didn't you pick the shield? Like me, good luck. This one is going to take you probably the longest to get all 9 of them. Unless you're very lucky. Good for you. Next up is the Mystery Goo. This item is dropped by the White Mushrooms, the Red Truffles, and the Black Funguses. You'll be seeing a clip on screen now about me doing the Red Truffles. These are, you could say, the best way to get them, but they are the most inconsistent in my opinion. Because you gotta get the hits constantly up to 100 hits. It's a good way to XP grind if you're good at it. But you'll see the clip on screen about me actually doing all 100 hits. I couldn't do it any more than just the once. So I recommend the White Mushrooms. It doesn't really matter which magic you use with the White Mushrooms. It just, I think you have a higher chance if you use all 3 of the same spells, and a lower chance if you use random spells. You need about 10 Mystery Ghouls. Next up is the Mithril. Mithril is another one of those special items, well, materials, that cannot be dropped by a Heartless. These can only be found or given to you, or synthesized. Luckily, there's plenty in the entire game to synthesize one of at least everything, so you'll only ever need to synthesize more if you want more of a set item. Locations. This is going to be another picture thing, just like the dark matter, I'm afraid. Complete the bouncing spot torn page, so that was easy enough. Light the campfire outside Pooh Bear's house. This is actually one I only found during this guide. I didn't even know you could do that. In the green room in Traverse Town, the clock above the one door, strike it 9 times. I do believe I made a clip for this one. Strike it 9 times, and then a chest will spawn on the other side of the room, containing a mithril. Return up to 51 of the Dalmatian puppies. Mail 5 postcards. Required glide. If you got glide, enter the Lotus Forest and across to. It's in the Lotus Forest. You gotta glide across to get it. Ugh, my brain. In Deep Jungle at the treehouse, there'll be a boat hanging in the air, far across. Glide to it. There should be a chest there. In Vines 2, in Deep Jungle, there's a chest in the center of the area. Deep Jungle again, Waterfall Cavern, chest on the highest ledge. Next up is in Agrabah, in the main street. It'll be in the highest point in the main area, from like where Aladdin's house is. You'll see it there. In the Cave of Wonders, in the Relic Chamber, there's a ledge corner, yet you have to push a block from the bottomless hole to reach it. Should have done that one during the main game. Monstro, in Chamber 5. It's in one of the higher areas within Chamber 5. Across from the exit to Chamber 4, if you know it is. The chest is in Chamber 5. Still again in Monstro in Chamber 6. It's on a higher up platform in that area. Next up is in Atlantica in the Undersea Valley. There's a grey clam along the eastern wall. Just hit the clam and you'll get the mithril. Inside the sunken ship in Atlantica, there is a clam in the hole beneath the stairs. Sorry about the pause, my brain farted for a second then. It's inside the sunken ship at the bottom of the ship. In Atlantica still is in Ursula's lair. You should see a clip on screen for this one. Use the fire spell on the purple urchin near the big clam and it'll open up and that will reveal a chest with another mithril. Next up is Hollow Bastion in the base level. Take the bubble to the small platform to the chest. It's in the upper area in the lower bit. You can see it on the image on screen. Hollow Bastion in the library. You gotta spin the pillar between the 2 bookcases on the upper level of the library. In the Hollow Bastion lift stop waterway, check the crystal node and ride to the chest. I think it's like one of those ones where you use the gravity spell. I'm not gonna lie, I'm drawing a blank on this one. And at the end of the world, the final mithril chest. In the final dimension, a red chest halfway through the area. Opening it will spawn a behemoth. You will have to beat it for the item. This one was a long one, I won't lie, but luckily you won't have to synthesize any more of this item. The maximum you do need is 16. Man, I'm gonna have to try to cut this down. Next up is Mithril Shards, dropped by either the Pot Spider or the Barrel Spider. Both of them at 1% drop rate. I recommend the Pot Spider in Agrabah, because they are pretty much everywhere around in Agrabah. The total you're going to need is 12. Next up is another one of the special Heartless, for the Mithril Stone. You're going to need to defeat the Pot Scorpion, which has a normal 10% chance on dropping it, but you can increase your odds to 35% chance if you destroy all the pots first. it's easy to do this. Just run against the pots. All the pots that are just normal pots, you should be able to move them just by walking into them, but the one that's the pot scorpion cannot be moved. Destroy all the pots except the pot scorpion one and you'll have a 35% chance to get the drop. You're going to need a total of 8 mithril stones. Next up is the orichalcums. This is another image one, I'm afraid, because I don't have the clips for this one. There are 19 in total throughout the entire game, and believe it or not, 19 is all you need. But you can synthesize, no, not synthesize, you can buy more inside the shop, but they cost 5,000. Now, first location is in the 100 Acre Woods in the bouncing spot. Give all 5 rare nuts to Owl. The second one is deliver 8 postcards in the Travis Town. Third one is in the Travis Town Waterway. Activate the White Trinity. Travis Town once more in the 2nd district. It's a reward for rescuing 72 of the Dalmatian puppies. The next one is in Olympus Coliseum, but you gotta do the Pegasus Cup in the Sora only version. Olympus Coliseum, after clearing the Hades Cup, check the purple vase behind the pillar in the area outside the Coliseum. I haven't done this in the series yet, so that was a bit of a spoiler. That's next episode. Next up is in the Lotus Forest in Wonderland. Requires glide to get to one of the high platforms in the southeastern corner. The next orichalcum is in the deep jungle in the Waterfall Cavern. It's on a ledge near some climbable vines. In a chest. Deep jungle, activate the White Trinity. It's where the keyhole was in the deep jungle. Easy enough. Next one's in Halloween Town, who are Oogie Boogie's Manor or Manor Ruins. Say you've already beaten the worlds, there'll be like a hole with a guillotine in it. Any chests you did not collect during the main game will be down there. That's where you'll find the next orichalcum. Next up is in Atlantica, in Triton's Palace. Well, not in the palace, it's like in the pathway area to the palace. There's a White Trinity and it's in there. Next one is in the Undersea Gorge. It's near Ariel's lair, but you're gonna need to go to the sunken ship and there'll be a pathway, well, like a cave entrance that you can go in, then you can hit a water spout and then you can shoot yourself up to knock out a giant chest which contains the orichalcum. The next one is in Neversland. In the Holden area, you gotta activate the Yellow Trinity. And also in Neversland, on the deck, it's in one of the crow nests. I think it's the one towards the front of the ship. Neverland once more, actually twice. Set the time on the clock to 1, as in 1 o'clock, and then again to 9 o'clock. AKA, you've gotta wait the time thing. I've done this in the series already. Look back to my Neverland episode for the cold clock tower thing, I'm afraid. In Hollow Bastion, in the lift shop. It's in an elevated chest in the lift shop after open the sigil door. Cast gravity to bring it down. So, it's easy enough to find. Hollow Bastion Castle Gates. Once the moving platforms have started, you can glide over towards a chest that's on the far off side that kind of looks like a pipe, but it's also a platform. The second to last one is also in Hollow Bastion at the Great Crest. When you enter the Great Crest area, turn left and you should see it right next to some rubble. It's right after you exit the lift stop. And the final one is available for 5,000 money after visiting Hollow Bastion for the first time. So as long as you've got money, you can buy as many as you want. Happy grinding! And you also need a total of 19 orichalcums. Ugh, these big clips are going to take a bit to cut down. Next up is the Power Shards. Power Shards are dropped by the Power Wilds and the Bouncy Wilds. Power Wilds is only at 8%, while the Bouncy Wilds are at 12%, but I recommend grinding through the Power Wilds, because the Bouncy Wilds are not that common to find. And you can find these in the deep jungle, mainly in the camp area, so defeat all the Heartless in the camp area, go 2 screens away, and return, rinse, repeat. You need a total of 13 Power Shards. Next up is the Power Gems. Power Gems could be dropped by the Pirates, the Air Pirates, and the Battleships. Pirates and Air Pirates is a 4% chance of dropping, but the Battleships could be 8%, but if you tear the Battleships apart, destroying the cannons, the back wall bit of it, and its sail, you can actually increase the odds to 16%. You're going to need a total of 13 Power Gems. Next up are the Power Crystals. Power Crystals are dropped by the Wyverns. I recommend that you actually grind for them in Traverse Town. You can go into the big open area in District 2, I believe it's called, and well, the second district. Fight the Wyverns all there, then go into the oh goddamn, what's the name of that place again? I think it's called the Gizmo Shop, where the one where the Heartless just keep on spawning constantly, the one with the clock. You can see it on screen. My brain has completely died on me. And then just like go 2 areas away, come back, rinse and repeat. You need a total of 3 Power Crystals. Not many. Like I wish I had more brain cells. And then it's the Power Stones, dropped by the Sniper Wilds. These ones are annoying, as you will see a full clip of me defeating all of them on screen. Sniper Wilds will drop them at only 35%, but the more of them you manage to defeat, it goes in separate waves. It's like the first one, then 2, then 3, then it starts again, but then they start doing more sporadic things like jumping further and like being more search, like they just get more and more weird, but the more you do it, the higher your odds. First 35% chance, then after that it goes to a 100% chance. The maximum of Power Stones you need is going to be 5. Good luck with this one. I hate this enemy. And now for a tricky one. This one is the Serenity Power. This is dropped by an enemy I really can't say its name because I suck, but I will try. Pink Oxxarus. I can't say it. You can see it on screen. This one is very awkward. You're going to need this setup. You're going to need to use Errowa or Erroga. You're going to need the Stop Magic. I would recommend Stopper but Stopra will work too, but you won't get 100s. And then you're going to want to use the ability Ragnarok. What you're going to want to do then to go into battle is use Stop on all the small Heartless that are around, the white mushrooms. Then when the pink guy shows up, you lock onto its head. You can lock onto either its body or its head, but I recommend the head, because otherwise you can't use Ragnarok. Then as soon as you're close, not too close though, activate the Erika's shield and then use Stop. Then instantly go into Ragnarok and then continuously attack its head, and as soon as you're able to, use Ragnarok again and then attack again. By that point the Stop magic should wear off if you're using Stopra. And then the drop rates can be anywhere between 0% and 100% depending on number of hits. 1 to 39 hits is a 0% chance, 40 to 69 hits is a 10%, 70 to 99 hits is a 20%, and then 100 plus is a 100% chance of dropping Serenity Power. Unless you're beating the secret boss, the Phantom, you're not going to have Stop Rigger, so this one might take you a bit of time. You only need 7 Serenity Powers though, so it's not that bad. Next up is the Shiny Crystal. These are dropped by the Wizards, but only a 2% chance. I recommend Traverse Town in the hotel area in the lobby. After you defeat the 3 defenders, 4 wizards will spawn, but then you can just go through the 2 rooms, then back into the hallway, defeat the defenders, and then you're back at the wizard. So this is actually a good place to grind with the defenders as well. Maximum you need is 3 shiny crystals. Next up is the spirit shards. These are dropped by the soldiers and large bodies. I reckon the soldiers is 6%, while the large bodies are 12% chance of dropping. I recommend Agrabah. In the first street area, the soldiers and the large bodies are quite common in that area, so I recommend there. Total number of spirit shards you're going to need is 17. Next up is the spirit gems, dropped by air soldiers. Best place to find these ones is actually in Wonderland in the Locust Forest area. Air soldiers have a 4% chance of dropping it, and you only need a total of 7 spirit gems. Can you tell I'm getting worn out yet? And now for the final special Heartless. This one drops the Stormy Stones. From the Neo Shadow in the final area of the end of the world, the Neo Shadow is a difficult one. It only has a 35% chance of dropping the Stormy Stone. Recommended that you use the Arrow Shield and sometimes use the Stop spell to stop them from going underground. Like as soon as they can be attacked, you stop them and attack them. Their 7 Neo Shadows will appear at the beginning, but once you get them down to their last 3, the 2 of them will start going into the ground to grab Sora's legs to keep him in place, while one of the others will then start attacking Sora while he can't move. Recommended at that point to jump and attack in order to keep doing damage. But once it's down to the last one, it will try to spawn more Neo Shadows. It'll take about a minute, so try to defeat the final one as quickly as possible, or it will all reset all over again. You need 4 Stormy Stones. Good luck! Next one is the Thunder Shards. These are dropped by the Yellow Opras. Best place to find these, in my opinion, is in Neverland, around the hold area at the bottom of the ship. Pretty much right where you begin. The Yellow Operas have an 8% chance of dropping a shard, and you will need a total of 12 Thunder Shards. And now for the final material on this guide, the Thunder Gems. These ones are annoying, I won't lie. These are dropped from the Aqua Tanks and the Screw Divers in Atlantica. The Aqua Tanks have an 8% chance of dropping the Thunder Gem, while the Screw Divers have a 4% chance. You're going to need 15 Thunder Gems. Now, before we actually get to the actual video about actually synthesizing this all together, I just want to apologize if this guide was kind of hard to follow. I'm not very good at doing guides, but I try to do it for some series like Kingdom Hearts, because I know sometimes this can be a very confusing series at times. So I did my best to get the numbers correct and the locations and my information all right. Sorry for confusing, just rewatch at the certain points if you really need more clarification. Or comment down below if there is something you didn't really get. I will do my best to give you some better information if I can. To the actual clip where we finally synthesize everything. Wahoo! I'm finished talking! Okay, we are now, I'm hoping, done with all the synthesized material gathering. To be honest guys, I'm pretty confident I got all the materials, but I decided to test by checking to see if I could synthesize before recording all this. Then I had a pop-up. Synthesizing amateur. Synthesize 15 items. Yeah, that's what made me go straight to recording. You wanna know how long this has been? I can show you. Where this episode began was right here on save file number 24 at level 55. That's where we begun at 26 hours in. And where we are right now, 36 hours, almost and a half, and at level 84. This has taken a while to do. It took me over a week to record this whole thing. Okay, so let's begin synthesizing. I got everything I did throughout the episode, so you can synthesize one of everything at least. But you will have had to have gained more materials to synthesize other things. We'll get to those in a minute. So let's begin synthesizing everything. That's everything so far, 12 out of 12. Get out. Get in. Now there's more. Now you'll see there's ones here. There's Mithril, which you could use to synthesize in that as well, but luckily there's more than enough in the game for everything we should need. 18 out of 18, back out. And then, these are the last, well, okay, not the last. Okay, so Elixir, Defense Up, Heart Guard, 3 stars, Atlas Antlers, Crown Crystal, and now, hold on, Koopal! Here, take this, Koopal. Encounter Plus. This is something that really would have been more useful earlier in the game if you ask me. This makes it so you don't have to go 2 rooms to respawn an enemy. You can just leave an area and the whole room, Heartless, will be completely resetted just like that. This makes gathering items so much easier. Wish I had it sooner. And with this here is where things get more spicy. Dark matter. Let's first synthesize what we can. You'll notice this one went out because we need dark matters. Synthesize one more. There. Let's synthesize 30 types of items. Let's get out. Get back in. And the final 3 items. Fantasia, 7 elements, and the Ultima Weapon. These are the ultimate weapons for Donald, Goofy, and Zora. There's that, and that. And now all we need is 3 more Dark Matters, which we have enough for. Exactly enough. Synthesis Master. Synthesize all items. I really hope I don't have to redo this episode, because there's no way to get those trophies to pop up again. But yeah, we now have the Ultima Weapon, way more powerful with more magic. Fantasia, it's not as strong physically, but it has 1 more magic. You know what? I think I'm going to stick to the Wizard Relic. But since we don't have Goofy's item yet, 7 elements. Oh, whoa, why is that so bad? Goofy's physical defense, physical attack goes down by 11 points. What? Why is that so bad? Mighty Shield it is. Technically there is a better shield for him, but I've yet to get the drop. Now, let's have a look at all our materials. All the bracelets. Well, we've got the XP bracelet and earring. You can equip literally all 3 of these to any character you want to get massive experience. 30%, 20%, and 20%. So you get 70% more experience on one character, or split them amongst your 3, and whoever's the lowest level gets the 30%. Basically something like that. And then let's equip the Omega Arts again. It's that just does HP. Where are all my new stuff? Crystal Crown. Ooh, whoa, spicy. Anything better than that? The ribbon reduces all element damage by 20%. Equip more for a boost. Heart Guard. Yeah, nothing else really works too well, so that's my Sora setup. Donald. Ooh, Cosmic Arts works pretty well for him. I'll give him that. And the Gaia Bangle. Now then. Wow, you got a lot more to you, Goofy. Let's get back down to the bottom. Ooh, Heart Guard, Brave Warrior. Can I... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The Golem... No, I doubt the Golem Chain will be able to be replaced. That's actually one of the really good ones. And, yeah, that appears to be the best setup for Sora, Donald, and Goofy from current what I have. That's all the synthesizing done. We're as strong as we possibly can be, besides being at level 100. And for the next episode, we are going to be... I gotta keep this short because, stuff, but I'll be right back. Next episode, we work here at the Olympus Coliseum. We're going to be doing every single Coliseum again, except I'm going to cut it all out unless I gain levels or trophies or whatnot that pops up, because you've seen them all before. So we're just going to be doing the certain trials that happens during them. And the one thing you will see, which is going to be the bulk of the entire episode, is what's going on right there. Catch you next time. Hades Cup. Spicy!